As the threat of the third wave looms large, a warning has had to be issued to religious institutions, temples, mosques, gurudwaras, all across India. This is by the Indian Medical Association, which has issued a stern warning saying holding any festival with crowds that we are used to here in India is not only not advisable, it is downright dangerous and could actually accelerate and amplify the third wave. That's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that even after the horrors of the second wave, an advisory and a warning of this kind even needs to be issued. All through the pandemic, during the highs and during the lows, our netas have permitted crowded religious rituals. From the Kumbh Mela to the crowded Ramzan rituals in Hyderabad. Crowded religious rituals have been almost as omnipresent as the coronavirus itself. But now, as India braces and preps for an expected third wave, and with religious yatras showing no signs of bowing to pandemic protocols, the Indian Medical Association has stepped in to declare that holding any festival at this time with usual traditional fervour could be very dangerous to India. The warning comes at a time when Odisha's Jagannath Puri Rath Yatra is in full swing, while the annual Kanwar Yatra processions are around the corner and awaiting official permissions.
उत्तराखंड केवल एक होस्ट के रूप में हम सभी राज्यों से बात करेंगे। अभी अधिकारी लेवल पर बातें हुई हैं, अगर उच्च स्तर पर बात करने की आवश्यकता पड़ेगी तो उसकी भी बात करेंगे और हमारे लिए सबसे पहली प्राथमिकता है कि लोगों की जान माल की रक्षा करें।
Whether permission will be formally denied to the Kanwar Yatra remains to be seen. In the meantime, all eyes are also on India's new Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia over whether his word can hold any sway at all. His predecessors' warning against crowds had had little impact on the massive religious congregations that erupted this year. One wonders if political considerations and appeasement will compel netas to go easy on temples, mosques, churches and other places of worship. When our political parties themselves refuse to adhere to COVID norms, what faith can citizens have that crowded religious festivals will be policed effectively? Bureau Report, India Today. In case you're wondering why such a warning even needs to be issued at a time like this, let me refresh your memory, ladies and gentlemen, from only just a few months ago. Scenes from the Kumbh Mela this year that became a scary situation right before the second wave event. It played a key role, perhaps, in the second wave across the country. The annual Rath Yatra is underway in Odisha's temple town of Puri. Large crowds, as you can see, are attending the religious festival at this time. Officials say all COVID norms are in place and only COVID negative people are being allowed. Take a look at what happened in April this year in Hyderabad, the old part of the city. When cases were surging across the country, people were thronging mosques and markets in a very, very irresponsible way, despite an advisory against such congregations by the Hyderabad police. Now take a look at these images also from Hyderabad in May, when people thronged markets right before the festival of Eid. This was Eid shoppers, when thousands of people were dying across the country and lakhs were getting infected every single day. This was what was happening in old Hyderabad. From the same month, this is Ahmedabad in Gujarat. The scenes from the Sadhant Kalash Yatra, images that went viral. What I'm trying to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to remind you of why a warning like this from the Indian Medical Association is really, really necessary. It's because all of our religious institutions couldn't care a damn about pandemic protocol, and unless the laws are forced upon them, they will continue to disobey them. what happened in Kurnool in Andhra Pradesh, where devotees flung cow dung during a religious festival. No distancing, no regard for rules. And this was the time of the second wave, right? In the second wave. Andhra Pradesh's East Godavari district. From the month of May, hundreds of people seen taking part in a religious ceremony in this part of Andhra Pradesh. And now, amidst this looming threat of a third wave, the suspense is growing over the upcoming Kanwar Yatra. But Uttarakhand's Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami has hinted that the Yatra is likely to remain suspended. In an exclusive interview to India Today, Dhami on the Kanwar Yatra said that the safety of people is of paramount importance and a decision will be taken accordingly. The Chief Minister said that he will also talk to other states in this regard. Listen.
कांवड़ यात्रा हमारी श्रद्धा और आस्था से जुड़ा हुआ विषय है, लेकिन उसके साथ साथ हमको लोगों की जान माल पर कोई खतरा ना आए, क्योंकि कांवड़ यात्रा कोई 1 लाख 2 लाख लोगों की यात्रा नहीं है, ये कई करोड़ों की यात्रा है। और इसमें हम तो उत्तराखंड के जो लोग हैं या उत्तराखंड जो राज्य है उसमें केवल एक होस्ट के रूप में है। उसमें हरियाणा भी है, उसमें दिल्ली भी है, उसमें उत्तर प्रदेश की बड़ी संख्या है, मध्य प्रदेश के लोग भी हैं, तो हम तो होस्ट के रूप में हैं। और लेकिन हमें देखना यह है कि यात्रा चालू होने से लोगों के जान माल पर कोई खतरा ना आए, जो कोरोना की बात है वो ना फैले। तो हमारे लिए सबसे पहली प्राथमिकता है लोगों की जान माल की रक्षा करना। और देखिए, श्रद्धा और आस्था का विषय है, तो भगवान को भी अच्छा नहीं लगेगा कि अगर किसी की जान जाएगी कांवड़ यात्रा से। कांवड़ यात्रा केवल उत्तराखंड की नहीं है, उत्तराखंड केवल एक होस्ट के रूप में हम सभी राज्यों से बात करेंगे। अभी अधिकारी लेवल पर बातें हुई हैं, अगर उच्च स्तर पर बात करने की आवश्यकता पड़ेगी तो उसकी भी बात करेंगे। और हमारे लिए सबसे पहली प्राथमिकता है कि लोगों की जान माल की रक्षा करें।
Interestingly, Pushkar Dhami, the Chief Minister of Uttarakhand, has said that the safety of citizens is paramount, but he has said nothing about denying permission for the Kanwar Yatra this year. So that still remains in suspense. India Today's Meenakshi Kandwal was the journalist who got that first interview with the Uttarakhand Chief Minister. Meenakshi joins me now. You interviewed the Uttarakhand Chief Minister, Meenakshi. He has said that the health of citizens is priority. Do you think permission will be formally denied soon? It is a sensitive issue in Uttarakhand.
जी शिव, देखिए, सबसे पहला इंटरव्यू दिल्ली आने के बाद, मुख्यमंत्री बनने के बाद पुष्कर धामी ने आज तक को दिया। और सबसे पहला सवाल जो हमने उन्हें कांवड़ यात्रा को लेकर पूछा, क्योंकि अभी राज्य के सामने जो बहुत सारी चुनौतियां हैं उनमें से ये एक है। पुष्कर धामी, मैन ऑफ फ्यू वर्ड्स, कम शब्दों में सधी हुई बात कह गए, लेकिन उन्होंने कहा कि हम सोच विचार कर इस पर फैसला लेंगे। लेकिन इस फैसले के पीछे हमें कुछ और वजहों पर भी ध्यान देना होगा। पहली बड़ी वजह, दूसरी लहर से अभी हम ठीक से उबर भी नहीं पाए हैं, और कुंभ के दौरान जिस तरह की परिस्थितियां बनी थी ग्राउंड पर, उससे उत्तराखंड सरकार की ज़बरदस्त किरकिरी हुई थी। फर्जी टेस्ट का मामला सामने आया, जिन प्राइवेट लैब्स को खुद सरकार ने ठेका दिया था, और अभी उस विषय पर जांच चल ही रही है। लिहाजा अब सरकार कोई भी कदम फूंक फूंक कर रखना चाहेगी, खासतौर पर पुष्कर धामी, क्योंकि अब जब उन्होंने सत्ता संभाली है तो उनके लिए भी ये एक बड़ा चैलेंज है। लेकिन अपने फैसले को, क्योंकि पहले उत्तराखंड सरकार ये कह चुकी थी कि कांवड़ यात्रा हम नहीं कराएंगे, इस फैसले को पलटा क्यों गया? क्योंकि उत्तर प्रदेश के मुख्यमंत्री योगी आदित्यनाथ ये कह चुके हैं कि 25 तारीख से कांवड़ यात्रा की शुरुआत होगी। उत्तर प्रदेश, उत्तराखंड, इन दोनों ही राज्यों में चुनाव होने हैं, और विपक्ष का भी ये आरोप है कि कहीं ना कहीं यूपी सरकार सियासी फायदे के लिए और हिंदू वोट बैंक, जो कि उनका कोर वोट बैंक है, उसे साधने के लिए इस कांवड़ यात्रा को हरी झंडी देने के मूड में है, और उत्तराखंड भी उस दबाव में कहीं ना कहीं दिखाई देता है। लेकिन इन सब के बावजूद भी देखिए, जब स्वास्थ्य मंत्रालय की भी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हुई और सीधे लव अग्रवाल से ये सवाल पूछा गया कि कांवड़ यात्रा को लेकर क्या केंद्र उत्तराखंड और यूपी को समझाएगा, तो उस पर उनका भी ये जवाब था कि प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा है जान है तो जहान है, और जो भी फैसला लिया जाएगा वो इसके मद्देनजर होगा।
Meenakshi will continue to track on what happens with the permission for the Kanwar Yatra. She'll get back to us, and we'll break that, of course, first here on India Today and Aaj Tak. So the big questions we're asking right now, on the back of the Indian Medical Association feeling the need to issue a warning and an advisory against religious festivals. Number one, will religious groups adhere in letter and spirit to this third wave warning? I have my doubts. Number two, should law enforcement read the Riot Act to religious bodies? Number three, will political appeasement doom India's preparations for the third wave, especially with big elections coming up? Number four, what punishment is necessary do you think for religious bodies that violate COVID norms? And there are many which already have and are doing so even as we speak. Joining me live, Dr. J.A. Jayal, National President of the Indian Medical Association, which is the body that has issued this advisory and issued this warning, really, not just to the government, but to the public at large. Dr. Swapnil Parekh is a well-known physician and author of the book, The Coronavirus, What You Need to Know About the Global Pandemic. Gentlemen, welcome to the both of you. Dr. Jayal, coming to you first. The advisory that has been issued by the IMA, you and I know it's necessary, but it seems like none of the religious institutions in this country, whether it is Hindu, whether it is Muslim, whether it is Sikh, whether it is Christian, are in any mood to listen. From the Kumbh Mela to the Ramzan to the Golden Temple to all manner of religious congregations, they are continuing to happen, sir.
Yeah, it is painful to note that definitely every one of us has religious feelings. But at this moment of time, the safety of our people and safety of our country is much more predominant and important than any other of our issues or the reasons for mass gatherings. There is enough evidence globally and enough evidence scientifically what we have seen in our India scenario also. Anywhere there is a mass gathering, that is always serving as a super spreader of this infection. We have learned bitter lessons in the second wave also.
Yeah.
So at this moment, when we are making everything's ready, infrastructure-wise, we are ready to face the third wave. And we should never be complacent and let off our guard so that can be a potential opportunity for this disease to be spread. So it is vital, it is important, and it is for the overall interest of the country that everyone or every stakeholders, whether it is a government, public, or any organization, we shall abide by the protocol or the advisory by the medical fraternity and stop having any gatherings on any pretext in this country.
Dr. Parekh, how much of a threat are these congregations, especially at this time? You know, public memory is pretty short. People appear to have forgotten the devastations during the second wave. People are going about their business the usual way that they do. But the scary part is the religious congregations have been happening even before the second wave, during the second wave, and they'll probably happen in an even bigger way now.
Hi, Shiv. Thank you for having me on. I think we're facing an urgent crisis. It's worthwhile to remember how this virus spreads. When people come together, when infected individuals come together with susceptible hosts, the virus can spread. And if there are mass gatherings, we give the virus the opportunity to spread very, very efficiently. Globally, what we have seen so far is that there are few kinds of events that cause super spreading events. Places of worship, celebrations like weddings, and bars, nightclubs, things like that, they cause an immense amount of social mixing.
Yeah.
In these mass gatherings, we have people from various networks come together. Of course, that's going to increase the risk of massively high transmission, but it's also going to increase the risk of new variants, new more transmissible variants that can decrease the efficacy of our vaccines. And that's an urgent crisis right now. What we need to understand is that there is no COVID protocol for a mass gathering right now.
Yeah.
There is no COVID safe way to do a mass gathering. So we need to stop that from happening. We have seen across the world right now. So if we look at the United Kingdom, Netherlands, Spain, Portugal, all these countries are seeing devastating levels of transmission,
Yes.
almost vertical epicurves. And these are countries that have a much higher rollout of vaccines than we do. They have more efficacious vaccines than we do. And we're still seeing skyrocketing transmission there.
Yeah.
We also have to keep in mind that we are now entering malaria and dengue season in India. So any load on our health infrastructure right now is going to be more devastating. Even if there are less cases, we only have so much capacity. And we have other diseases right now that we need to think about. So there's really no safe way to have mass gatherings.
Very important point. Dr. Jayal, Dr. Parekh makes a crucial point. He says that there is no protocol for mass gatherings. And yet, for instance, you have the the famous Jagannath Rath Yatra in Odisha and different other parts of the country, where the organizers say we are using all protocols, we are doing RT-PCR tests. But if you look at the pictures of the Yatra, there are large crowds. We'll put the pictures of the Puri Yatra on our screen for our viewers to see. There are large crowds. I'm not casting aspersions on whether or not they are following protocols, but it is a scary thing to know that, like Dr. Parikh says, there is no real protocol for mass gatherings. So how can you even have something like this, Dr. Jayal? Very, very unfortunately, we've lost that link with Dr. Jayal. Do we have him back? Okay. Dr. Parikh, let me come back to you in that case. The question I'm going to ask you is with election season coming in, you know how it works. There are all sorts of pulls and pressures for law enforcement, for the government, for politicians, and especially when you have election season coming in, there are major sensitivities over whether to clamp down, whether to deny permissions for certain yatras. We are seeing this huge Puri Rath Yatra happening, where they in fact have said that they're following protocols, which is exactly the opposite of what you said. You've said there is no protocol for such a mass gathering, and I completely agree with that. There's another thing called the Kanwad Yatra that's coming up in Uttarakhand, where the government there is still dilly-dallying a little bit over whether to, deny them permission or not. Do you see this also as a major problem? The fact that politically speaking and religiously speaking, these things have always been sensitive, and there's no determined effort to clamp down and say, sorry, no exceptions.
Shiv, I think what policymakers need to understand is there is no way to prepare for exponential growth.
Yeah.
No matter how much you scale health capacity, once exponential growth will always breach that capacity so scaled. And as we saw in the second wave, there were similar considerations then. But when the second wave hit, that was far more devastating, of course, in terms to the people, but also politically. Once the second wave hit. So I'm not an expert on politics. Yeah. I can't pretend to comment there. But there's just going to be so much unnecessary suffering if we continue like we are right now.
Very, very important point, Dr. Parikh. Thanks very much for being with me. Dr. Jayal was with us. We lost that link. I had a few more questions for him and what his organization planned to do. But sadly, we've lost that link. So I'll have to leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for being with me on this big warning that's gone out. Whether religious institutions will take it upon themselves to listen in letter and spirit to the law, or will it have to be forced upon them? And can the public depend on our elected representatives and governments to really wield the stick and ensure that there is no appeasement for any religion, any politically backed religious institution or any religious body, especially during festive season? Well, away from the religious festivals, as COVID cases in the country are declining in many states, they've started to relax their curbs. People have now thrown caution to the wind, as we've been covering here on India Today, taking advantage of the easing of these curbs, and they've been flouting COVID norms left, right and center, from not wearing masks to ignoring social distancing guidelines. Take a look at this report coming in from the hills.
Death, despair, the dying gasping for oxygen.
जो भी बोल रहा है कि ऑक्सीजन अवेलेबल है, सब झूठ बोल रहे हैं. There is total chaos.
Helpless pleas,
रात के 3 बजे से हम यहाँ पे बैठे हैं.
still fresh in our memories.
दौड़ो वहाँ दौड़ो यहाँ दौड़ो, इतने में पेशेंट मर जाएगा.
But as COVID cases across states witness a decline and the country eases up restrictions, people seem to be selectively blocking these memories out. Tossing caution to the wind, tourists are thronging the hill stations in huge numbers. Shoppers are flocking to markets. Devotees crowd religious places. The raging trend of revenge travelling is a cause of concern, as it might end up welcoming the third wave.
देहरादून और उसके आसपास के लोग भी जो है वो केम्प्टी फॉल और मसूरी पहुंच गए थे, तो उसके कारण से अत्यधिक ज़्यादा एकदम से जो बाहर से आने वाले संख्या नहीं थी, वो उत्तराखंड के अंदर की संख्या थी। लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी हम लोगों ने जो है अभी नई गाइडलाइन जारी कर दी है कि अब जो भी होटल हैं हमारे, वो 50% जो है क्षमता के आधार पर ही चलाए जाएंगे।
This is Bhushi Dam in Lonavala. People can be seen without masks and flouting all social distancing norms. A horrifying display of reckless behavior. Tourists continue to flock to Manali, blatantly violating all COVID protocols, crowding the popular destination.
आपने मास्क नहीं पहना, क्या बात है?
मास्क अब यहाँ खुले में घूम रहे हैं, जब भी मास्क नहीं पहना।
मास्क सभी को लगाना चाहिए, डिस्टेंस रखना चाहिए। जितना कंट्रोल हो रहा है, अब भगवान करे इस साल में ये बिल्कुल यहाँ से खत्म हो जाए।
And maybe resisting Delhi's famous Sarojini market is too difficult for the shopaholics amid a pandemic. People in this old Delhi market find getting their hands on the street food more important than wearing their masks properly. Uttar Pradesh's Mathura too has no dearth of Covidiates either. In another curious case, people gathered at a vaccination center in Madhya Pradesh's Khargone. But no masks in sight. No social distancing being practiced. Capital Bhopal too seems to not have learnt its lessons. People thronging at markets without masks, shying away when caught on camera. A deliberate offence. The country is barely out of the deadly second wave. States have again started reporting an upward trend in COVID cases, some of even the highly infectious Delta variant. With the threat of third wave looming large, one can only hope that good sense prevails and people follow COVID protocols and stay safe. Bureau Report, India Today.